Welcome to Thursday Night Live.
It's Amy and Dana. Hey, everybody. Instagram, hello, everybody over here. We got camera 1 and camera 2, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter over here. Welcome to come hang out with us for the next hour or so as we talk running, eating, drinking, and whatever else comes to mind. These chats never stay on the rails per se. It just doesn't happen. We got Josh over here on YouTube jumping in the chat. Hey, Josh. We see you here.
How are you tonight? How is everybody tonight?
I like that he calls us kids. It makes me feel young because nobody typically calls me kid.
Nobody does call me a kid anymore. No.
I'm going to share real quick. So talk amongst yourselves. A peanut is neither a pea nor a nut. Discuss.
I asked our Runcation Nation in the coffee chat this morning who would be racing anytime soon. Oh, John Schroeder, how are you? And also, will you all let us know what you're drinking tonight? And we will let you know shortly after Dana shares everywhere.
Yes.
Yes. So, a lot of people joined us in the coffee chat this morning and talked about upcoming races. And Emily, EcoFit 13, she jumped in and said she is a brand shiny, spanking new Knox Gear ambassador.
Yeah, I saw that. And those are really cool. Have y'all ever seen them? They're they have like glowing piping. They're vests that you can wear.
I love it.
I've seen them. And when I used to be a almost exclusively nighttime runner, I was very envious of that.
So she started it off, and also thank you to Darlene, who actually put a guess as to what we would be eating and drinking tonight in the chat. It was an interesting suggestion, although not a correct guess. But we have Susie, who is doing the Bozeman, Montana at the beginning of September.
Yeah.
Several people from our group doing Bird in Hand. We have JoJo, who's doing her St. Jude race in October. Meg, who is going to cheer on Susie and JoJo at in New England.
Mm-hmm.
In September as well. And I think Rhonda Lee is going to be at the Detroit at JoJo's St. Jude race too. I may be getting the wires crossed and the streams crossed.
Correct us in the comments if we are. But we are the royal we. I can't keep track of it nearly as good as Amy does, and she does.
But
you do an amazing job.
I can't, And Kelly, I think is Asheville. Speaking of, and I hear the brewery scene is legit.
Yes,
and she was lamenting not having more time to explore and indulge that.
Interestingly enough, we were looking. We have a local regional air carrier that's growing, Allegiant Airlines, not a sponsor of the show though. Allegiant, we're talking to you. Hey.
Oh, Dan Rams from the Cape Coral Running Group. Hey, how are you? And Rhonda Lee has, of course, Detroit and Cape Brayton Fiddlers in the middle of September.
Oh, nice.
And you're going to be back and feeling better before you know it, so that you'll be, just killing it for that race. So
we have John Schroeder, Trip Billy, and Josh over here on YouTube. If you're just joining us, welcome. Drop your name and tell us who you are, where you're from, what you're drinking tonight. And if you're new to the Wednesday night, Thursday night live chats, this is where we get together for an hour. We tune out the world. We talk about running, eating, drinking, and whatever else.
JoJo.
We also have, and JoJo just jumped in over here on Facebook.
Yeah.
Welcome. I'm going to start pouring, and you can kind of explain what's going on, but I'll just tell everybody what I've got here. This is champagne. This is okay, okay. Well, like they say, it's not really champagne unless it's from the Champagne region of France.
Right.
Otherwise, it's just sparkling wine. This is
Right.
Cook's Brute.
Yeah.
Also not a sponsor of the show.
No.
And I'll get back to what I was saying just a second ago. We have a regional air carrier here called Allegiant Airlines. They are fast growing, and they do very inexpensive flights from our area to Asheville.
It's Allegiant.
Allegiant.
Did you say?
To the tune of about $40 per person
Yeah.
one way.
Babs is here too.
Hey, Babs.
Hey.
And we've been eyeballing that. Now, the trick there is, of course, that it's not go when you want to, come back when you want to. It's like leave on a Thursday, come back on a Tuesday type of thing.
And Kelly could probably attest to that because she's over here on Instagram saying that she's flying Allegiant to Asheville and crossing her fingers. So, yeah.
Little pro tip also, if you're opening a sparkling wine, like say a Cook's or some other sort of sparkling wine where your cork's under pressure, being gentle with that, not shaking it up, always good. Be gentle with the cage, always good. And use a towel over it to help hold the cork and the bottle. It can be an eye saver and potentially a lifesaver if it's a particularly lethal cork.
So we are having a champagne, and
this implies celebration.
Well, and French fries. And I asked several people in the coffee chat. Oh, Facebook kicked JoJo off, so she jumped onto Instagram. I don't know why, but it looks like we still have some people on YouTube and Facebook, so that's good. So, we're having champagne and French fries, and I don't know if anybody has had this combination before, but
it's a unique one.
I never thought about having them together.
No.
But this what's the fun of that? The best part is popping popcorn to see how far it will go.
Well, one of these days I'm going to get out there and like saber the bubbly.
JoJo says. But and this is a brut champagne is normally a drier champagne.
It is.
Mm-hmm. And it's not like JoJo's favorite, which would be, I think, Prosecco or Moscato. Ooh. If I had to guess. Oh, cork, not corn. I misread. So sorry. You knew what I meant though.
I did
when I read it. So we're having this combination, and we're toasting, and let me just, I'll put a note here in the chat while you catch up on the comments, but we're having this combination in honor of our two-part of celebrating the release of our two-part interview with Adrianne Haslet. So that is why we have the combination. And she does talk about that in part 2 of the interview this week as she talks about Boston, the race day back in April, and kind of recaps that, and her amazing finish with Shalane Flanagan and finishing 4th, just a few minutes out of 3rd place. So thank you, JoJo. She was a fantastic person to chat with. So amazing. So
we did crinkle cut fries in the air fryer.
Oh yeah.
So keeping with our, we do the plant-based 6 days a week, and these are all plant-based. Very nice. Or Ida, not a sponsor either, but again, they make a heck of a French fry.
Could be.
Yeah. Now that there's going to be a lot of room for some controversial discussions. I know that Josh has been in 1 or 2 of those over here in in YouTube because, of course, when we get to talking about regional pizzas, we start talking about the whole discussion between New York versus Chicago style pizza. When you start talking about French fries are a whole different ballgame. You have the crinkle cuts like we have. You have steak fries.
Yes.
You have potato wedges. You have shoestrings. I mean, there are several options for French fries,
Mm-hmm.
and there are adherents to each style that are pretty, dedicated to their respective styles. So, I don't know where everybody comes down on this argument. So I'll start with you.
What kind of fries I prefer?
What is your preferred mode of French fry? And guys, please drop a comment. Let us know what your preferred mode of French fry is. Home fries and hash browns don't count for this discussion.
Oh, because then you're thinking about French, right?
Fun
size Jen, welcome to the party.
I don't count those as the same category. Yes, they're all a fried potato, but home fries and hash browns are not, in my mind, the same category of French fry. Oh, and you're right. Josh added waffle fries.
Oh,
so we have. I'm going to drop these. Going to drop these in the chat here.
Announce it again,
and I'll announce it again. So,
well, Kelly has come in hot with shoestring.
Okay, so we have. What is your favorite type of French fry?
Fun size Jen says steak fries.
Hold on, I'm writing this as a quiz to drop in the comments here. A, shoestring. B, steak fries.
Oh my goodness.
C, waffle. D, crinkle cut. There we go. Now let's see. Yeah, and Josh has also given some commentary about toppings with mustard. And Trip, yes, I agree. I cannot stand fries that are soggy and gross. John is saying McDonald's. I'm going to say that is a shoestring style. I think that's
Isn't shoestring thinner than that? Isn't shoestring thinner than McDonald's?
No.
French fries?
No.
Really?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
I don't think.
Well,
is it? Josh says that mustard on fries is a German thing. Is that true?
Is it a German thing?
I didn't know that. By the way, cheers to the 2-part interview with Adrianne Haslet.
Cheers to
cheers
Adrianne
to you guys. If y'all haven't had a chance to listen to that, we hope you'll check it out.
And to you all in the Runcation Nation.
Ooh.
For killing your training.
Feels fancy.
Yeah, it does. I like it.
Yeah, we killed ours this past weekend.
Not as sweet as Moscato.
No.
Like JoJo likes. But and it's got that dry grapey note at the end. So
yes.
Yeah. Very fruity. Fun size Jen says steak fries. Kelly says shoestring. JoJo says as long as they're crispy, they're good. She loves a good steak fry.
I think that's true.
Fun size Jen says mine need to be warm and salty, not super crispy or overdone.
You might not like these because these got extra love in the air fryer because I wanted them really crisp. I actually, growing up, one thing there were certain things in public school lunches I absolutely loved. I loved the pizza, the rectangular pizza. I love the octagonal Mexican pizza.
The Mexican pizza in school.
The one thing they could never do right at my school, they always had crinkle cut fries, and they basically steamed them.
Oh, they were like floppy.
They were gross.
Like Fun Size Jen, what if they're like floppy and almost, I just can't.
There's no crunch, no texture. You know, it's it's kind of rough. And so for me, crinkles always bring back the memory of high school or
Of
middle school
disappointment?
and disappointing French fries. Yeah.
Yeah. Fun Size Jen says McDonald's is not a shoestring. And Rhonda Lee says it depends on how I'm eating them. Just plain, she likes shoestring. Poutine, it has to be steak or crinkle cut fries.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I would agree.
Yes to salt.
And
for
by the
JoJo.
way, we love poutine. That's a Canadian thing that has made its way down here. We love it. Love it.
Do you mean steak fry is a potato wedge for clarification for Kelly?
I mean, you could make the argument that a steak fry is closer to a potato wedge, but I didn't include potato wedges because I'm kind of lumping those in almost with home fries.
Oh, okay.
Steak fries tend to be the broader, flatter, thicker fry.
Mm.
I do like potato wedges, though.
Potato wedges, I think of as having the skin on them, and steak fries not so much, or maybe on the ends. But mustard does not belong on a French fry, according to JoJo.
Oh, see, now I'll tell you, if I'm doing if I'm doing Chick-fil-A waffle fries with some of their mustard sauce.
Oh,
yeah, winner.
Rhonda Lee says McDonald's fries with McChicken sauce.
Oh,
McChicken sauce. I need to know more about McChicken sauce. Are we talking about because I'm a huge fan of the hot mustard sauce at McDonald's. Maybe not for fries. I mean, I'll use it on fries.
I will. Yeah.
I'll use it on fries. Primarily, though, I do ketchup with
McDonald's
fries.
And okay, the McDonald's ketchup, the packets of ketchup, those taste better than almost any other any bottled ketchup. I love the taste of McDonald's ketchup.
Don't understand
and I think it's Heinz brand.
Why they hoard this? I don't understand why they hoard it. When you go through the drive-thru,
our local, yeah, it's true. Our local
and
McDonald's
you ask. The last time I ordered French fries at McDonald's, I asked for ketchup and got 0 packets in the bag. 0. Got all the way home, had none. And I agree with you. There's something different about. There's something about those ketchup packets that are. It's just better. It's just so good.
And Josh over here in YouTube says it's on JoJo because she said
they're fighting about the mustard.
Mustard doesn't belong on fries. In college we had a Chick-fil-A in our food court on campus, and yeah, the waffle fries with either the Polynesian sauce, which is we're gonna get to toppings in a second, but their honey mustard. Oh yeah.
So,
and that's actually the first place I ever had waffle fries.
Where?
Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A?
Yeah. Never had them growing up as a kid until I got off to college and found them at Chick-fil-A.
I rarely went to Chick-fil-A because we didn't have them around here.
The only place you could go to Chick-fil-A in Tampa growing up in the 90s was the mall. I was not a big mall dweller. And then when they got one on my campus, it's kind of hard to pass up.
Right.
You know. That's the Lord's chicken.
Fun Size Jen says, I want fries, not potato chips. As far as cook temperature?
I do think that a perfect fry has crispy exterior, creamy, pillowy interior.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Delicate balance. Also, Buffalo Wild Wings, which I've never been to.
Really?
I've never been to Buffalo Wild Wings.
I'm learning something about the woman I'm married to. Okay.
I mean, you've been with me for many.
You've never been to a Buffalo Wild Wings?
I've never been to a Buffalo Wild Wings. Do y'all know what Buffalo Wild Wings is? Fun Size Jen does, because she says Buffalo Wild Wings potato wedges are amazing.
Okay.
What are they, fried in beef tallow?
I'd give them a try. No fast food place is doing beef tallow anymore because it's
Meg is joined.
Terribly unhealthy for you, but so delicious.
Meg, are you still here? How are you doing? You're kicking ass with your chair workout.
Is Meg on the gram?
Yeah.
Hey, Meg.
Yeah.
I'm just having to see camera 1, camera 2, which one I'm saying hi to.
Yeah. Chick-fil-A doesn't require any condiments, JoJo says. don't mess with perfection. And Kelly says waffle fries is it in Chick-fil-A ranch sauce. I've never had Chick-fil-A ranch sauce.
Okay, I actually didn't know that existed. Seriously, like I go there and I'm like the Chick-fil-A sauce, the Polynesian, and the honey mustard. I've never seen their ranch. So I am one of those people. I like a good ranch. I'm a little picky. I shouldn't even say that I'm really picky. I mean, can you be picky about ranch? But it's just like not all blue cheese dressings are created equal. Not all ranch dressings are created equal either.
I think so. You are correct, sir.
When they're too sweet or too watery, I can't do ranch at all. So, yeah.
Oh, so Meg says Geyser Point used to have amazing waffle fries, and then the mouse took them away. Sad.
Geyser Point still has the best burger on the Disney property.
And Kelly says, I just went to my first Buffalo Wild Wings in January when we were in Colorado. I don't know where Jessica is tonight, but I think they were together in Colorado. Isn't that correct? And
I believe so.
And then JoJo says something about date night, Dana. It's a date night where you're just learning things about me or right?
Well, I hope that that's what she means, as opposed to I should take you to Buffalo Wild Wings for date
also
night.
Yes.
Because I'll have to show you a very funny TikTok I saw specific to Buffalo Wild Wings. Maybe I'll drop it in the chat comments later on. I happened to see it. It was very funny, kind of making fun of Buffalo Wild Wings. But yeah, typically if we go for wings, we tend to go to Nice Guys Pizza.
Of course.
They are, of course, patrons of the show, but we loved them long before they were ever patrons of the show. And their lazy wings that they do with the buffalo sauce, the blue cheese, and the celery pureed into the sauce, it's everything you could want right on the wing.
I just love it.
It's ridiculous. It's one of those things that you wouldn't think to do, but once you've had it, you're like, this is game changing.
We have to, hey, anybody who is in the comments who can give a shout out to Meg, she is pushing through some serious pain.
Oh, Meg, I'm sorry.
And doing some chair workouts. And she said she did a walk with the boot and crutches halfway around her cul-de-sac at her front driveway. And she's pretty proud of that. And I'm proud of her. And we are sending you all the healing vibes and all of the blocking of the pain receptors vibes. That's what I would say. And we're all proud of you and the progress that you're making. Kelly says,
John's shouting her out right here. Hi, Meg, you got this. Over on Facebook.
That's John Schroeder.
Who, by the way, I saw John Schroeder. He posted for his job. He is a director of special events in the Innisbrook Golf and Country Club in is that St. Pete or Clearwater? I don't know what officially the town is over there for where you're at, John. But he's got another Cars and Coffee event coming up, and I know he's gearing up for an Oktoberfest, which I'm starting to see.
Speaking of, German fair.
I'm having and Josh, I'll be thinking about you for Oktoberfest.
Oh boy.
Because
we have to get all the Oktoberfest beers in October and try them on a chat.
I like where your head is at.
There are
That's
so
good.
many.
My problem right now is, yes, Oktoberfests are starting.
Yes.
And gearing up. The problem that I have, and Tripp is shouting Meg out here, is that it's 107-degree heat index here. And I've got friends of mine at work who are whipping out the pumpkin spice lattes and trying to, manifest fall. And I'm like, try harder. It really needs to get here. It's too hot for that. But Oktoberfest is right around the corner. So many of these breweries are gearing up for it. I'm very excited. And I know John's going to have several breweries. Yeah. And it's Palm Harbor where he's at. Thank you, John. I couldn't remember. And I'm excited for that event.
Well, now Meg wants a pumpkin beer.
Oh,
Now that you're talking about
and
Oktoberfest.
that's a whole that is a whole different animal, because
And then we ought to try all the pumpkin beers one night in October.
we should, and
Yeah.
because you want to talk about beers. Number one, Oktoberfest beers, definitely not all created equal,
No.
and pumpkin beers even more so.
What's your favorite pumpkin beer, Meg?
And
Tell us.
Josh is sending Meg some positive vibes too, telling her to keep pushing. I'll tell you what,
Ooh, we set a record for heat this past weekend, the hottest in 34 years, Kelly says.
I believe it.
Yeah.
I believe it. 107 heat index. That's the whole reason we got up at Odark Ridiculous and knocked out our 11 miler this past weekend.
I'm telling you, if we hadn't gotten up super early, because I am so very slow, in the long runs, because I just want to get the endurance, and I'm still working back up to speed.
Mm-hmm.
If we hadn't done that, I would probably be, that one run one time where we were out there for so long and I started to cry. The steam was coming up from the
That wasn't because we were out there for so long. We were running.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
I thought it was just because it was just so miserably hot.
We were out there for so long and it was so hot. Steam was coming up from the concrete. It was awful.
We were running on our one of our trail run, a running trail locally, and it takes you past this saltwater marsh, and there's this stretch, and there's nothing there but steam and horseflies.
Oh,
it sucks, and it's maybe a quarter mile straight of that, and it was terrible, it's awful. And Amy hits that, and it was like the waterworks turn on. The minute she got past that segment, they turned off. And then when she turned around at the turnaround and came back, it was the same thing. Turned on.
It was so
turned
bad.
off.
It was so bad.
It was awful. Absolutely terrible.
So bad. Meg likes Shipyard Pumpkinhead, New England Brewery.
Shipyard is good. Pumpkin is always one that we like. Good Gourd from, is it Tampa Bay Brewing or no? That is Good Gourd is. Who makes High Life?
Southern Tier? Was it Southern Tier? Don't they do Good Gourd? No.
Maybe. I'm completely blanking.
Well, I can't think of that right now because
we're gonna find some.
Because Shipyard Pumpkin with vanilla vodka floater, cinnamon sugar rim, and apple slice garnish.
Well, okay.
She's brilliant.
And we've been known to do those kinds of beer cocktails before, so maybe we'll do a late night chat on a weekend night where we can have more than one with, just maybe the adults in the room, and we'll,
I can't be there. I'm not an adult.
We'll pre-release the list if people want to go to their local establishment or retailer and pick some up, and then we can all, hang out together
and have some pumpkin beer, and you all can report into us. Or, we should do that for our patrons. We should do like a pumpkin or Oktoberfest happy hour.
We could do that.
What do you think, you all? Let us know, patrons.
Yeah.
Fort Myers Brewing, Kelly says, had one last year that was amazing.
They did.
And I just, oh gosh, there are so many strong breweries here in the Florida area and in the Southwest Florida area. Just, I mean, it's legit. It is so good. I can't. Yeah. Yeah. And that is, I mean, just John for his Oktoberfest, something like what? How many breweries? 18?
Yeah. He's got
That's
a big
testament
slate
to how strong, what community support is and what they're doing for October. Or we do a Zoom, so we're like Brady Bunch squares. Yeah, that's what JoJo says we should do. We can do Zoom. We can do Zoom. We can do this, and it's like kind of the Brady Bunch squares too if we invite people.
Oh, John's got 10 breweries, he says.
Oh, I thought it was 18. Keep pushing, man.
Okay.
Love you.
I'm gonna put the brewery, the pumpkin beer discussion
I'm sorry.
in the parking lot for just a second, because I'm gonna bring it back to French fries, because Adrianne really talked about French fries, and she talked about toppings for French fries.
She talked about the salty. She talked about that, like the salty and the bubbles, making like just the perfect post-race celebratory snack.
Now, some people have already said that they like their fries salty. What I want to know is, for your French fry, regardless of the style, what is your go-to condiment? We have a sampling of 3 here. We have ketchup, because that's kind of the American favorite.
Standard fare.
We have a controversial one here, which is mayonnaise. Many people like mayonnaise.
And we don't have mustard.
Well, no, I don't typically do plain mustard. I do honey mustard.
Old Bay, Kelly says on her fries. Why didn't we do that?
And then we have, last but not least, and this will hopefully, scratch the international itch for Rhonda Lee and any of our other listeners who are outside the continental U.S. We have malt vinegar, because
ketchup or Chick-fil-A sriracha. Malt vinegar is
awesome.
I dip my fries in honey mustard, Meg says.
Honey mustard, yeah, totally. Straight mustard, I you know what? I honestly don't know if I've ever done it. Ever? Well, here's a little mayo. Let's give this a shot.
Should I do it? I guess I should do it. Jojo says French fries in vanilla soft serve ice cream. This is very much like Wendy's fries in a Frosty.
I was going to say the only time for me that's acceptable is at Wendy's with a Frosty, but I like it.
No mayo for fries. No, I vote no.
Okay.
And I think that malt vinegar is acceptable. It's good. It's even better when you have it with fish and chips. Like, malt vinegar for fish and chips.
Which we got an amazing recommendation from Adrianne about on this week's episode. You got to check it out.
Jojo says mix the mayo and the ketchup.
Don't threaten me with a good time. Hold on.
Here you go. Ooh.
I'm trying not to crunch into the microphone.
Well, I'm doing it. I'm sorry. Kelly says yes to malt vinegar. Bonus points if there's Old Bay and malt vinegar.
Now, Old Bay, I could totally see if you're doing crab fries. That like if you're doing like a seafood poutine kind of thing, where you got
that would be awesome.
Yeah,
seafood poutine. But then I would want drawn butter. If it was like a crab fry kind of thing.
Well, I think that you would absolutely top with a garlic, drawn butter and garlic, and the crab meat and all that. I think that'd be kind of the way to go. John's got an idea for the coffee chats. Teach us how to brew using the pour over style. Interesting. We actually don't have a Chemex to do pour over.
We need to.
We need to get one.
We'll be on that.
I like that idea because pour over coffee is one of those things. I don't know how much.
Meg, good night. Get some rest. We love you.
Good night, Meg.
Good night, Meg.
I don't know how much I buy into a lot of the things that are said about the pour over, like the way you do it and why you do the things you do. I think there's a little bit of tea ceremony kind of thing going on there. But I do like a good cup of coffee made in the pour over style. I just think that you can get, personally, I think you can get a comparable cup of coffee from a quality maker as opposed to the pour over. But if you're wanting to engage in the ritual and do all that, there's nothing wrong with that. But yeah, I like that, John. We will pick up a Chemex this week.
Cheers to the Chemex.
Cheers to the Chemex. Ding. And a lot of people are like, what's a Chemex? Chemex is it looks like a beaker, basically.
Yeah.
Looks like a science beaker.
And
a chemistry beaker.
Actually, If
It looks like a sciencey thing.
if you go back in our catalog, good night, Fun Size Jen, good night.
Good night, Jen.
If you go back in our catalog and you search for we actually had somebody on the show from Big Storm Coffee do a pour over.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We
like
did.
like a Chemex like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but we should do it. Just
Well, I mean, we've got, we of course have our coffee maker. We
Mhm.
have our French presses, which is typically what we'll do for whole bean coffee.
Mhm.
That we're still working our way through from our amazing patrons and friends of the show who've sent us coffee over the
Mhm.
years. We're literally still working our way through all of it.
we love all of it.
And we haven't even opened all of it yet. So,
Well, some of it I want to make like iced coffee, like running through Wonderland. Jen sent us the banana kind of that the Jungle Cruise inspired.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I wanted to save that to do it like iced or like the tiki coconut.
oh yeah, those would be
Like
good.
that.
Ice. And then
Yeah.
Josh has sent us some great, or given us, he brought them, some great Black
Mhm.
Rifle flavors
Yeah.
that we still haven't gotten into yet.
Right.
So I'm very excited.
At Gasparilla, Jojo would like to request a live mimosa sampling
Oh,
that we do it
I'm sure we can find a
With-
place for that.
with all the juice flavors.
I'm sure we can find a place for that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Like pear and pineapple and orange and
The party atmosphere in Tampa around
grapefruit,
Gasparilla,
guava.
I really can't
all
oversell
the
that.
things.
Because Gasparilla is such a part of Tampa history, and the race has become such a huge event, drawing people from all over the country and really all over the world,
Mhm.
that the whole town just really adopts the race and welcomes all the runners and does a lot of cool stuff. So if you're thinking about running it and you want to join our team, we
There's
have
there's a link in our Instagram profile.
yes, we have a team. Pick your distance, join our team, come have
Guava.
fun, come do a meetup with us.
Yeah. Jojo's like,
And you got time to
ooh.
plan.
Jojo says, ooh, guava mimosa. So guava juice mimosa.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure we could find that. Like we've done a local brewery here that does like they have a sampling of juices and they do beer mosas. And you know
Which I like.
which is
a
very
lot.
good. But I'm sure we can find a place that does something like that. And guava is a very popular fruit down here.
Well, if we can't, I think a majority of us are staying close by to one another.
I'm sure that could be facilitated.
We know where grocery stores are.
There's a Publix right around the corner. Yes,
We can do it.
we can make it happen.
Yeah.
Little pre-gaming for the race or post-race celebration.
How about post race?
I prefer that.
That's what I'm saying, Jojo. Let's do it at the hotel. Emily, how are you? Welcome to our chat.
Tonight we're having, if you're just joining us, we are having French fries and champagne in celebration of our interview with Adrianne Haslet on the last 2 episodes of the show.
She was amazing.
This was her choice for post-race celebratory dining. How could it be wrong?
Emily says hi to the fur babies too. And Jojo says we should try all the champagnes and sparkling Moscato, Prosecco, all that. All the good stuff. I don't think we better be staying over till Monday.
Yes.
And we better do it after the race, because if we do it before or the night before, I won't be able to. I can't. No.
No, for those that are going to
No.
be running Gasparilla, things to consider. Yes, it's February in Florida. Chances are good. It's much warmer than where you're from if you're coming from out of state. The problem is it's a 50-50 shot. It can be warm or chilly.
Mhm.
It's a 50-50 shot. It can be sunny or rainy.
Mhm.
And then you've got a 25% chance across that board if it's going to be any weird combination of that. So you basically have to pack a little bit of everything for every type of weather. And 100%, there's no shade on this course.
No.
So,
No.
regardless of the other conditions, it's going to be humid.
But we'll have fits and we'll have our people with us.
This is true.
Mm-hmm.
Very true.
Chilly being what's the temperature range? JoJo's asking.
There have been years where it's
50?
down. It can get down into the 40s in the start.
But maybe like 50.
We
60.
get cold snaps down here
just depends.
that time of year that can get around freezing.
Mm-hmm.
So it can happen, but we've run it when it's been very warm.
Yeah.
We've run it when it's been chilly.
And that is what baseball caps are for her, for built-in shade. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's, I mean, everything about the course is really designed for you to make up time because it's straight, flat, and paved. Amazing traffic control on the whole course.
They are really, truly, and the cheering is along Bayshore is really great. Yeah.
Yeah, they do a phenomenal job.
The people at the water stops, the volunteers, they're great. The DJs they have set up are great.
Yeah, and this past year, it was hot enough that the misting stations were a very welcome thing.
Oh, so welcome.
But we've run it a couple of years ago where it was chilly.
So it just depends. More often that Trip wants guava too. For the mimosas.
Oh yeah.
I just it just depends. More often than not, we've had warmer temperatures.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I would say prepare for that. And we'll prepare for anything, but expect and train for hotter weather.
And bring some layers.
Just in case.
And have options in your luggage.
And costuming. Your pirate fare.
Bring your best pirate fare.
Yeah. Well, I think that Dawn is
ready.
Leg up on us.
Dawn's ready for this.
And we're going to have fits there at the finish. So, and the start. So how can we not be so excited and just, I love that. Cheryl, how are you? Welcome to the chat.
Hey, lady.
We're having champagne and French fries in honor of the interview this week on the show. Adrianne Haslet. And she was just so wonderful, so generous with her time. She recapped the entire race day with Shalane Flanagan. And one of their post-race choices was champagne and French fries. Mm-hmm. So we're trying it together.
I got to say.
And I like it.
It's not bad.
And we asked everybody what dipping sauce goes best with your fries for you.
Yeah. What do you like to dip your fries in?
Mm-hmm.
We have a sampling here. We have ketchup, we have malt vinegar, and we have mayonnaise.
Mm-hmm.
What do you like? Let us know. Drop it in the comments.
Emily has a question for us.
Oh, fire away.
Is Gasparilla your favorite race?
No, it's not. I mean,
no.
There are certain things I really love about it. Number one, it gets me a chance to go back home. Being born and raised in Tampa, I get to go back home. We spend a couple of days up there in my hometown, kind of sometimes going to old haunts, going to places that we've explored together and found together that we love and like to repeat, and checking out some new stuff for the show.
Mm-hmm.
I think that still one of my favorite races, if we're talking Florida races, it's up there. But my favorite race, I do think that Donna is my favorite, and only because of the emotional attachment that I have there with the race to end breast cancer, and the connection I have to that because of my mother.
Donna, for me,
for Florida races. So,
for Florida races. And Kelly is saying that she prefers Donna to Gasparilla, or Space Coast to Gasparilla.
And I would say also, there is a huge party atmosphere at Gasparilla. That party atmosphere is around the restaurants, hotels, and bars in the downtown area. Many of the restaurants throughout Tampa, but the neighborhoods, you do get some support in the neighborhoods. You get some musicians that come out and play.
Oh, for Gasparilla.
For Gasparilla, you get some support.
Some neighbors come out.
Come out. It's not the if you're doing the half marathon at Donna, it's not the 13-mile long street party that Donna is.
Emily is. And she's running Donna.
Yeah.
She's on our fundraising team.
Yeah. Donna is a 13-mile long street party.
It really is. I mean, even with the horrendous weather that everybody encountered this past year,
yes,
there were people that still came out.
And there were people who were out there. I mean, they were out there cooking in that weather, pouring drinks in that weather, playing music in that weather. They hired DJs in their neighborhood. They decorated.
Yes.
I mean, that race is over the top cool for that reason. If Gasparilla became that, it would be a tough call. But because of where they do Gasparilla starts in downtown. You start, right in the middle of downtown. It runs you over to a little area called Davis Island, which is a small island in Tampa Bay.
And that's where the neighborhoods could really go like Donna.
They could. These tend to be older, more established neighborhoods. I don't know what the demographics are anymore there because I've been so long since I lived there. But you don't get as many people coming out there. And then it kicks you back off of Davis Island, and then you do an out and back on Bayshore Boulevard. Well, Bayshore Boulevard, you have on the way out, it's the Tampa Bay to your left and a median to your right. And then you have the other lanes of travel and then the big homes. And there's not as much opportunity for the neighbors to come out like that.
Yeah.
And then when you're doing the road back, it's kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
So
I think that the volunteers at the water stops and the security along the course, I think that they do everything they can to make that race fun.
They do. And we had some great people come out and cheer us on. Some of the neighbors come out and do that. Now, those big homes along Bayshore, many of which, the Bayshore is world famous. Those are all big money homes. A lot of people, and the way they're constructed, they don't really have the ability. There's a lot of privacy built into the way that they're constructed.
Fences,
sometimes fences and gates, sometimes elevated. Not as conducive to some of the smaller.
We're not selling Gasparilla right now.
No, it's like I said, Gasparilla's main event is experiencing the city.
Yes,
and the fact that it is a fast, flat, paved course. That is really the high points there. And it's a great party atmosphere all around town. Just the race course itself is really made for speed.
Snarky Snacker has just joined us on Instagram, and I don't know if she's still there, but she should know that I just super enjoyed her interview on Inside the Runner Studio on the Will Run For podcast.
Yes.
This past week I listened to it on a run, and she was just wonderful. Love her. Yeah,
good job.
So
that's kind of the advantage for Tampa. Tampa gives you that really opportunity to have that wide open paved surface. Get your that's the race to do a PR.
Well, it's flat, and if you've trained for it's closed to traffic, like to Kelly's point she's talking about. It's just, you can spread out. It's not cramped. It's
cramped at the start. That's it.
It is a beautiful view of the water, and you see lots of
and the
dogs,
homes are beautiful.
Lots of dogs and lots of people who are just out there on their bikes and running along Bayshore sidewalk, but you have the road to yourself, all the runners. And it's great.
Yeah, I'm not wanting to undersell my hometown race. That is not what I'm doing. It's just the vibe is different. Where in Jacksonville at the Donna, you're going through smaller neighborhoods, smaller homes, more tightly compact.
Yeah.
The neighborhoods all come out, or the neighbors all come out. They're hanging out with each other. It turns into kind of a block party in the different neighborhoods.
Yeah.
And then they're also taking care of the runners. So it's just a different vibe, but they're both really a lot of fun. The party atmosphere is really for pre-race, post-race at Gasparilla.
Yes.
Whereas the party atmosphere in Jacksonville is on the course.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. And I think Gasparilla, you could really kind of bond with fellow runners along the course in Gasparilla.
Oh,
You
yeah.
can in Donna too, but it's that's a time that we ran a few miles with a woman who was there and running, and she had Parkinson's,
Yes.
and she was just amazing.
She was a beast.
Amazing.
Absolute beast.
And the guy who always runs in the red suit with the martini glass.
Yes.
He was hysterical. It's just, and then along the course, you never know who you're going to meet. Some ambassadors like Meb, you know?
Yeah, it's kind of cool to be running, and here comes a golf cart, and it's Meb Kefleski.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. So,
that's kind of cool.
I think, and hopefully he'll be there again. And that'll be a great draw to Gasparilla. For Donna, I mean, Joan Benoit Samuelson. Come on.
Kind of.
I know who she is.
You know who she is.
Does she
know who she is, though?
Oh, come on. She does. She does. So, and Emily is saying, yes, Snarky Snacker, her interview was fantastic on the Will Run For, she commented. So I just...
we love them over on Will Run For.
Yeah.
That's a great podcast. You should check them out.
And I really also enjoyed the Rise and Run podcast. I'm playing catch up. I'm an episode behind, but they interviewed Not Your Average Runner, and all about her podcast and her running programs. And she's just fantastic.
Nice.
Fantastic. So
nice.
There's some really great content out there on some podcasts, including ours with Adrianne Haslet.
Yep. I'm going to spend a couple of seconds here letting everybody know about that. Of course, most of you know the show, but if you are new to the chats here, of course, we try to do these Wednesday or Thursday night of every week. Mm-hmm. We want to remind you guys, take a moment, go over to runeatdrink.net. You can click on the shows tab in the top and listen now, listen right there. Our preference is that you subscribe to the show in your favorite podcatcher. Just click on the subscribe now.
Yes.
Follow us on all the socials. Jump in, send us a join request over to our Facebook group, Runcation Nation. Runcation is all one word. Just send us an invite. That way we know you're not a robot, and we will get you in there. And we post all sorts of, crazy, goofy stuff in there. A lot of it's not running related. It's food and drink related, but, running related stuff in there too. In fact, Jessica dropped in a little shopping tip for everybody earlier today, letting them know that a great company was having a blowout sale for compression gear. So, all of our folks in there share cool stuff, funny stuff, tips, useful stuff, tips, you name it.
I think JoJo dropped in there how to lace up your sneakers for certain, like for heel locking and things like that. If you're needing that, and
you got a real wide toe box or whatever, yeah. So, we've got a lot of ways for you guys to enjoy, but we really want you to check out the show. Like I said, this week was part 2 of our interview with Adrianne Haslet. She's amazing, and I'm really glad that we now have her as a friend of the show and a member of the Runcation Nation. And you're in great company. I mean, it's a bunch of cool people hanging out, talking, running, eating, and drinking, and traveling for races, and just all the stuff that goes with that.
Yeah.
So anyway, we're coming up on the top of the hour. So we got to wind it down.
Yeah.
I have definitely oversoaked this French fry in the malt vinegar.
Well, now it's,
hard.
I just want to say thank you to everybody who has jumped into our live chats, who has commented on them afterwards if they can't attend live, who, when we post, just notices about our new episodes and things like that, just letting us know that it was an interview or an episode that really spoke to you. It really touches me because we love to do the show, and I know that this has not been a summer of traveling for races the way that we would have hoped, but it has been wonderful to have hydration options featured, and we're still on doing that.
We're still on SOS right
We're
now.
still on SOS, and we have to get to we have Tailwind, we have
We have a couple.
we have a few, yes, so that we still need to do. But it's just been so wonderful, the support that you all have given us, and we can't thank you enough. While we haven't traveled, we have so enjoyed the chats with you, the interactions and the discussions about running, training, and gear, and eating, and hydration, and just all of that. So thank you.
And I think part of that too is talking about how, sometimes life throws up barriers to doing some of the runcations you might like and training around that. And we've been doing that ourselves.
Mhm.
And we appreciate the help and support from all of
Yeah.
you.
So thank you.
You guys are amazing. With that, guys, thank you for hanging out with us for the past hour. We're right at 1 hour. Y'all are incredible. And new episode is in the feed. Go to runeatdrink.net. Subscribe in your favorite podcatcher. We're still not on Spotify. We're working on it. Spotify's got a kind of a moving target for what they'll take and what they won't.
We'll deal with it.
We're working on it.
Yeah.
But check us out. Subscribe, listen, like, comment, share.
Yeah.
Smash that subscribe button in the YouTube as well. And thank you for hanging out with us tonight here from the Run Eat Drink podcast studios.
John Bagliani has joined the chat.
John,
and he says, I have been training eating.
John, you've got 1/3 of it down.
There you go.
And I see the stuff that you're posting, and we keep missing each other. They'll John and Nancy will tag us. They'll say, "Hey, we're doing this," and then we're tied up doing something, or they're out of town, or whatever. We've got to connect.
Yes,
but
for sure.
You guys are amazing, all of you. Go check out the latest episode of the show. Thank you for listening. I think we got maybe some coffee chats coming in the week, and then this weekend. Stay tuned for that. And until then, we'll definitely see you next week on the next episode, and back here next middle of next week.
Yeah, so, Wednesday or Thursday. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Yeah.
We'll see y'all later. Good night.
Good night.